Hey guys, welcome back to the next video in today's history story. We're going to take a calm, peaceful journey into the life of an ancient Egyptian artisan. I'll be sharing how they started their day and what a typical day looked like for them, full of craftsmanship, care, and quiet devotion. So, sit back, relax, and enjoy the story. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. Let's dive in. As the start of the day, first faint light of dawn begins to creep over the horizon, the artisan stirs from their slumber. The room, still cool from the night, is filled with the soft, almost imperceptible sounds of the village awakening. There is no rush, no urgency, just the quiet, unhurried beginning of another day. Their home, simple yet warm, is made of mud brick, the walls thick and sturdy, keeping the heat of the day at bay. The furnishings are minimal: a low wooden bed, a small clay lamp that has burnt through the night, and a few hand-carved items that speak of the artisan's trade. As the sunlight gradually fills the room, the artisan stretches, their body waking slowly, as if in rhythm with the land itself. There is no clock to mark the time, only the natural world and the cycles of light and dark that govern their life. The first task of the day is simple, yet essential. The artisan rises from the bed and moves towards a small clay basin, filled with cool water from the Nile. With quiet reverence, they dip their hands into the water, splashing their face gently, washing away the remnants of sleep. The sensation of the cool water against their skin brings clarity and a calm sense of readiness for the work ahead. The body is awake now, as is the mind, ready to meet the day's tasks. Next, the artisan prepares a modest meal. The kitchen area is humble: a few jars of grain, dried fruits, and perhaps some leftover bread from the previous day. A small fire crackles softly in a corner, where they warm a piece of bread over the flames. There is no grand feast, only what is necessary to nourish the body before the labor of the day begins. A handful of figs, a sip of water from a clay jug, and the meal is complete, simple, yet sustaining. In these quiet, solitary moments, there is no rush. No pressing need to be anywhere, to do anything other than prepare for the work at hand. The pace of life moves gently, in harmony with the land and the work the artisan is about to do. It is not just the body that is prepared, but the spirit as well. The artisan takes this time to center themselves, to gather their focus for the tasks of the day, knowing that the work they create will not just be functional, but an offering to the very soul of Egypt itself. With the day now fully upon them, the artisan sets their simple meal aside, dons their modest tunic, and begins the walk to their workshop, where the real work of the day awaits. Before stepping into the workshop, the artisan takes a moment to prepare not just their body, but their most important companions, their tools. Each tool, though simple in form, carries the weight of years of tradition and skill. It is through these humble instruments that the artisan will create, shape, and bring life to raw materials. And so, it is with great care that they inspect each one, ensuring it is in perfect condition for the day ahead. The first tool the artisan picks up is a chisel, a small, worn piece of metal, its edges sharp and gleaming in the soft light of the morning. With a steady hand, they run their fingers over its surface, checking for any signs of wear or damage. The chisel is an extension of the artisan's own hand, and its precision must be maintained. The artisan knows that a dull tool can make the work harder, less precise. Each tool is treated not as a mere object, but as a partner in the act of creation. Next, the artisan moves to a set of brushes, some fine, others broader. These brushes will be used not just for painting but for the delicate details that bring their work to life. The bristles are carefully inspected, ensuring that none are out of place. With a soft touch, the artisan runs their hand through the bristles, feeling for any fraying or wear that might hinder the fine strokes needed for intricate designs. The artisan then turns their attention to the other tools in the workshop, a set of small knives for fine carving, a mallet for delicate shaping, and various wooden forms that aid in the molding of clay and stone. Each item is arranged neatly, ready to be called upon when the moment comes. The tools are more than just instruments, they are the silent partners in an artisan's work, their quiet companionship guiding every movement, every decision. The process of preparing the tools is one of reverence. Each item is cleaned and checked, the handles smoothed, the edges sharpened, the surfaces polished. There is no rush in this ritual, no need to hurry. The artisan takes their time, knowing that the quality of the work is often determined by the quality of the tool. To care for the tools is to care for the craft itself, to honor the lineage of those who have passed down these methods and materials. The final step is to gather the materials they will work with, stones, clay, or wood, arranging them with the same care and attention to detail. The workshop is a sacred space, and each tool, each material, has a place in it. With everything in its rightful place, the artisan steps back for a moment, taking in the calm before the work begins. Now, with the tools prepared and the day's work ahead, the artisan is ready. The rhythm of creation will soon begin, but for now, there is only the quiet satisfaction of being fully prepared, of knowing that the craft will flow through their hands with care and precision. The artisan steps outside, the warmth of the morning sun beginning to envelop them as they walk towards their workspace. Their workshop, though simple, is a sanctuary, a small open-air area tucked quietly at the edge of the village, where the hustle of daily life feels distant. The earth beneath their feet is firm, the air still and gentle, as if the land itself knows that this is a place for creation, not chaos. The space is humble yet functional. The floor is made of packed earth, smooth and firm beneath the artisan's bare feet. There are no walls to contain the space, only a roof made from woven palm fronds, allowing the cool breeze to drift. To drift through, carrying with it the faint scent of the Nile. The natural light spills softly across the area, creating pools of warmth on the earth, while shadows stretch gently over the tools and materials that lie in waiting. Around them, the materials of their trade are carefully arranged. Stone blocks, rough and unshaped, sit beside smooth slabs of wood, each one waiting to be transformed. Clay pots are stacked neatly on the side, and baskets filled with fibers, pigments, and brushes rest quietly nearby. The materials are familiar, their textures and colors as comforting as the artisan's own hands. The space feels alive with the quiet promise of creation, a calm that settles over everything in the workshop. As the artisan steps further into the space, they take a slow, deliberate breath, filling their lungs with the soft, earthy air. The work ahead is not a burden, but a continuation of a practice that has been passed down for generations. Here, they are not just an individual, they are part of something greater, an unbroken chain of artisans whose hands have shaped the very essence of Egypt. The workshop itself seems to hum with a soft energy, as if it, too, is ready to begin. The light filters through the palm fronds above, casting dappled shadows across the ground, creating a rhythm all its own. The air is cool, with just a hint of warmth from the sun beginning to rise higher in the sky. There is no rush, no urgency, only the peace that comes with the start of something new. In this space, time feels like it slows down. There are no distractions, only the materials, the tools, and the artisan's steady hands. With the workshop now bathed in the soft natural light, the artisan looks around, taking a moment to appreciate the stillness, the simplicity, and the serenity of the place where their work will unfold. As the artisan settles into their work, the space around them grows even quieter, the stillness thick with focus. Their hands, steady and practiced, reach for the first material of the day, a block of stone, smooth yet rough at the same time. The surface is cold to the touch, its weight a reminder of the earth from which it came. With a soft sigh, the artisan begins to work. The first movement is slow, deliberate. The chisel is placed against the stone with care, and the artisan's hands, firm yet gentle, begin the process of transformation. A soft tap of the mallet against the chisel, and a thin sliver of stone falls away. The sound is quiet, no more than a whisper, but it carries the weight of intent, of a life spent honing skill and patience. The artisan does not rush, there is no need for speed. Every movement is measured, each strike of the chisel placed with thought and precision. The rhythm of carving is slow, almost meditative. Each tap, each shift of the tool brings the stone closer to the form the artisan envisions, yet it never feels hurried. The piece of stone remains, for now, unshaped, its true potential hidden beneath the rough exterior. But with every strike, the artisan brings it closer to something beautiful, something purposeful. The light filtering through the palm fronds dances across the stone, highlighting the soft curves and sharp edges as the artisan works. The air is filled with the faint, earthy scent of stone dust, the quiet crackle of the mallet against the chisel, and the slow but steady rhythm of the artisan's hands. It is a quiet conversation between the artist and the material, each strike of the tool speaking the language of skill and patience. Whether it is a small statue of a deity, a simple household item like a bowl, or perhaps a decorative piece meant for a tomb or temple, the process remains the same. The artisan's focus is absolute, and the material before them becomes not just a stone or piece of wood, but a canvas, waiting to be shaped, waiting to hold meaning. As the day moves on, the artisan's hands are steady, never wavering, shaping the material with quiet confidence. The work is an act of creation, yes, but it is also an act of reverence, a silent prayer woven into the very fabric of the object. Each line carved into the stone is imbued with purpose, each detail added to the surface reflects the spirit of Egypt itself. The slow, deliberate carving continues, and with each movement, the object begins to take shape. What was once a solid, lifeless block of material now begins to hint at something more, something that will, in time, serve a purpose far beyond this moment, far beyond this day. But for now, there is only the carving, the slow, meditative process of creation, one strike at a time. Meanwhile, not far from the stone carving, another artisan is deep in their own craft, the weaving of cloth, the creation of linen, one of Egypt's most cherished materials. In their quiet workshop, the sound of the loom fills the air. It is a gentle, rhythmic hum, a soft, steady rhythm that seems to echo the pulse of the land itself. The artisan's hands move with practiced ease, guiding the threads through the loom. The fibers, carefully spun from flax, pass under and over the wooden beams in a seamless flow. With each pass of the shuttle, the cloth begins to take form, a soft, pliable material that will serve many purposes: simple garments for daily wear, elegant linens for the elite, or sacred cloths for the temples. The motion of the loom is fluid, almost meditative. The artisan's fingers move nimbly, setting each thread in place, the rhythmic back and forth creating a tapestry of quiet concentration. The sound of the shuttle passing through the threads is a constant presence, a soft whoosh, followed by the click of the loom's mechanism, and the occasional swish as the artisan presses the cloth into place. With each pass, the cloth grows, its texture becoming smoother, its form more defined. The artisan's focus never falters. There is no rush here, just the patient weaving of threads, one at a time, creating something that will endure through the ages. Linen, light and breathable, yet strong, holds the promise of everyday life in Egypt. Whether used for garments, sheets, or wrappings for mummies, it is a fabric that will find its place in nearly every facet of Egyptian society. The air around the artisan is filled with the faint scent of flax and the earthy undertones of the workshop. Sunlight filters through the open space, casting soft shadows on the loom and the fabric. The world outside may be bustling, but here, there is only the work, quiet, steady, and unhurried. In the delicate interlacing of thread, the artisan weaves not just cloth, but history itself. Each piece of linen carries with it the tradition of the craft, passed down through generations. The loom is not merely a tool, it is a bridge to the past, a link to the generations who have done this work before. As the cloth lengthens, the artisan takes a moment to admire the texture and beauty that has emerged from their hands. The threads, once separate and distinct, have now become a cohesive whole, strong, yet soft, simple, yet full of potential. It is a quiet accomplishment, a gentle creation, and yet it holds the power to clothe a person, to wrap a deity, or to serve as a symbol of Egypt's enduring legacy. Across the workshop, another artisan is absorbed in their craft, the ancient art of pottery. The wheel begins to turn slowly, its rhythmic spinning a quiet hum that blends seamlessly with the other sounds of the space. The artisan's hands, steady and practiced, guide a lump of clay onto the center of the wheel. As the wheel turns, the clay begins to shape itself under the pressure of skilled hands, transforming from a simple mass of earth into something functional and beautiful. The first movement is slow and deliberate. With each turn of the wheel, the artisan's fingers press gently into the clay, pulling it upward, shaping it with careful precision. The soft squish of the clay beneath their fingertips is a grounding sound, reminding them of the earth from which the material comes. The texture of the clay is smooth yet firm, cool to the touch, and it responds to the artisan's skillful movements. Close-up shots reveal the artisan's hands working tirelessly, applying just the right amount of pressure to mold the shape. The clay rises, slowly taking form as the artisan presses, pinches, and smooths its surface. Each motion is measured, calculated, a fine balance between strength and delicacy. The wheel turns, its rhythm steady, guiding the artisan's hands in the creation of something that will hold both function and beauty in the simplest of forms. As the clay rises into a bowl or a jar, the artisan begins to refine its shape, smoothing out any imperfections with the palms of their hands. The wheel spins, and the gentle hum of its motion is punctuated only by the quiet sound of the artisan's hands working the surface. The clay responds with a soft hiss as it yields to their touch, and in that moment, the will becomes an extension of the artisan's will, each turn a step closer to the finished piece. The soft light from above highlights the subtle details of the work. The texture of the clay becomes evident, its smooth curves, the delicate lip of a bowl, the sturdy walls of a storage jar. It is a simple piece, perhaps, but every inch is shaped with care, every line intentional. The artisan's focus remains unwavering, their hands moving with the rhythm of creation, as though the act of shaping the clay is as much an act of meditation as it is craftsmanship. As the pot begins to take shape, the artisan checks for any uneven spots, smoothing them out with a wet sponge, ensuring the vessel is perfectly formed. The quiet sound of the sponge against the clay is a soothing, rhythmic complement to the soft hum of the wheel. This quiet process is one of patience, slow, methodical, and gentle. The piece is not yet complete, but as the wheel slows and the artisan's hands gently shape the final details, the piece of clay feels almost alive in their hands. What began as a simple lump of earth has now become something more, a vessel with purpose, a piece of history in the making. And while this bowl, jar, or vessel may seem simple, it carries with it the very essence of life in ancient Egypt, utility and beauty entwined, created with quiet skill and devotion. As the sun climbs higher in the sky, the artisan pauses in their work. The rhythm of creation slows, and the stillness of the workshop envelopes them once more. The steady hum of the loom and the quiet spinning of the pottery will fade into the background as the artisan steps away from their task, moving toward the shade of a nearby palm tree. The air is warm, but the tree offers a cool refuge, a place where the artisan can rest, gather their thoughts, and simply breathe. Beneath the branches, the ground is covered in soft, dry earth, scattered with fallen leaves. The shade is a welcome contrast to the heat of the day, and the artisan sits down, taking a moment to pause and reflect. A small clay jug of water is within reach, and the artisan lifts it, feeling the smooth surface of the jug in their hands. With a slow, deliberate motion, they sip the cool water, letting it quench their thirst and refresh their body. The water, gathered from the Nile, carries with it the life of Egypt, its essence, its vitality. In these quiet moments, it is more than just a drink, it is a symbol of the connection between the artisan and the land. As the artisan rests, the world around them seems to slow, the sounds of the village distant and faint. The gentle rustle of palm leaves above, the soft murmur of the breeze through the trees, and the distant calls of birds are the only sounds that fill the space. There is no rush here, only the peace that comes from knowing the work is steady, the day unfolding at its own pace. This break is not just a pause from labor, but a time to gather the mind, to center oneself in the quiet of the land. The artisan gazes out over the village, their thoughts drifting like the soft breeze that stirs the leaves above. In these moments of stillness, there is a sense of connection, to the work, to the materials, and to the greater world that surrounds them. For the artisan, this time of rest is a necessary part of the process. It is in these quiet, reflective moments that the mind is allowed to wander, to find new inspiration, and to refresh the spirit for the tasks yet to come. The day has already unfolded in its own natural rhythm, and there is no need to hurry. As the artisan finishes their water and rises from the shade, they stretch, feeling the gentle tension leave their body. The pause has been brief, but it has recharged them, both physically and mentally. With a quiet breath, they return to their work, ready to continue shaping the world around them with the same calm, focused energy that has guided their hands since the morning began. As the sun continues its steady climb in the sky, the artisan's work pauses once again, but this time, it is for a meal, a simple, yet nourishing, break shared with family. The day's labors have been quiet and steady, and now the artisan returns to the comfort of home, where the bonds of family provide a peaceful respite from the tasks of creation. The family gathers in a small, shaded area just outside the artisan's home. The cool morning air has warmed to a gentle heat, and the ground is covered with woven mats where they sit, cross-legged, to share a modest meal. There are no grand feasts here, only the quiet sustenance of daily life, a few loaves of bread, broken into pieces and shared among them, ripe figs, and the cool, refreshing taste of water from the Nile. The artisan's children sit close, their eyes wide with curiosity, watching the movements of their parents, who have known this daily rhythm their entire lives. The artisan's partner smiles, offering a piece of bread, and there is a soft exchange of words, quiet laughter, and the gentle hum of family life. The simple act of sharing a meal is a moment of connection, a reminder that while the artisan's hands are busy shaping the world, it is these intimate moments of togetherness that hold the heart of the day. The food is simple but satisfying. The bread is still warm from the oven, its rough texture a grounding reminder of the earth from which it was made. The figs, sweet and fragrant, offer a burst of flavor, and the water, cool and refreshing, cleanses both body and spirit. There is no need for conversation to fill the space, there is only the peaceful sound of chewing, of soft voices, and the occasional clink of pottery as the meal unfolds in comfortable silence. In these moments, the weight of the day's work falls away. The artisan is not just a creator, but a parent, a partner, a member of a family. There is something deeply grounding in this simple exchange, a reminder that the work of the hands is not done in isolation, but in concert with those who share in the rhythms of life. As they finish their meal, there is no rush. No need to move quickly. The family lingers in the calm, allowing the warmth of the meal and the quiet company to fill the space. The meal is an act of nourishment, not just for the body, but for the soul, a time to pause, to connect, and to remember the quiet beauty of daily life. And as the family shares their meal, there is an unspoken understanding, a shared peace in the knowledge that together, they are part of something greater, part of a timeless rhythm that stretches far beyond the individual. As the meal comes to a close and the warmth of the sun continues to rise, the artisan, feeling renewed and centered, returns to their workshop. The afternoon has arrived, and with it, the heat of the day begins to settle over the village. The cool, early morning air has given way to the soft heat that fills the space, and the artisan knows that the work must continue, albeit at a gentler pace. The rhythmic spinning of the pottery wheel resonates, though now, there is a subtle shift in the pace. The artisan's hands move with the same deliberate care, but the heat of the afternoon causes them to work more slowly, savoring each movement. There is no rush. The labor of the hands continues, but the urgency of the morning has softened, replaced by the quiet understanding that the body, too, needs to move in rhythm with the land. The sounds of the workshop are now gentler, the soft scrape of chisel against stone, the subtle hum of the loom, all blending into the ambient warmth of the afternoon. The artisan takes a moment to wipe the sweat from their brow, feeling the heat of the day pressing softly around them. The sun, high in the sky now, casts long shadows through the palm fronds above, and the light shifts in the workshop, offering soft pools of warmth on the earth beneath them. It is in these quiet, slower moments that the artisan finds a different kind of rhythm, one that does not demand speed, but instead celebrates the act of creation itself. The stone, once hard and cold, now seems to soften under the artisan's touch, responding to each movement with patience. The mallet strikes lightly, with care, as the artisan continues shaping the material, their mind focused, but also at ease. The loom, too, hums in its quiet rhythm. The artisan working their weaves with a measured pace, each pass of the shuttle through the threads now slower, more meditative. The afternoon heat makes the motion feel almost dreamlike, unhurried and steady, a peaceful continuation of the work begun earlier in the day. Even in the warmth, there is a deep satisfaction in this quiet craft. The work may be slower, but it is no less meaningful. Every strike, every twist of the thread, every curve of the clay holds the same importance, for in this moment, the act of creation itself is enough. There is no need for haste, no pressure to finish. Only the steady, rhythmic flow of work that moves in harmony with the heat of the afternoon. As the artisan continues, their body sways gently with the motion of the work, their movements becoming a dance of sorts, slow, intentional, and graceful. The day has unfolded naturally, without rush, and the work mirrors that same peace, unfolding steadily, piece by piece, in the warmth of the afternoon. As the afternoon deepens and the piece of work begins to take shape, the artisan transitions into a new phase of creation, one that requires a steady hand and a focused mind. The rough outlines are now softened, the form of the object becoming clearer, and it is in this moment that the artisan turns their attention to the intricate details that will bring the piece to life. Whether it is a carved statue of a deity, a beautifully crafted bowl, or a finely woven cloth, the addition of decorative patterns and symbols is what transforms a simple object into a work of art. The artisan moves with care, their fingers steady as they trace delicate lines into the stone or wood, or guide the brush across the surface of the cloth. The process is slow and precise. A chisel is gently tapped against the stone, its edge carving fine lines into the surface, each stroke adding depth, meaning, and beauty to the piece. The artisan's focus sharpens, and their movements become deliberate, as if the stone itself is guiding their hand. With each touch, the figure of a god, a symbol of protection, or an intricate pattern begins to emerge, its significance woven deeply into the very fabric of the object. If the artisan is working with wood, they may carve intricate geometric shapes or floral patterns, symbols that represent the connection between the earth and the divine, between nature and humanity. These patterns are not just decorative, they are spiritual, often carrying meanings that speak to the beliefs and traditions of ancient Egypt. The artisan is not simply creating for the sake of beauty, they are telling a story, expressing something deeper, something sacred. In the case of textiles, the artisan may take up a fine-tipped brush to paint symbols or designs onto the fabric. The brush moves slowly, each stroke measured, as patterns take shape, perhaps the image of the Nile, the sun, or symbols of life and fertility. The care with which the artisan adds these details is apparent in the gentleness of their touch, as they carefully fill the fabric with color and meaning, each design placed with purpose and intention. Even in the smallest details, there is no room for haste. Every line carved, every symbol painted, every thread woven is a reflection of the artisan's reverence for their craft and the world they are creating. The space around the artisan feels sacred in these moments, as though the work itself carries the weight of history, and each detail added is a piece of the larger tapestry of Egypt's legacy. The soft sound of the brush against fabric, the quiet tapping of the chisel, the gentle hum of the loom, these sounds become a chorus of concentration, a rhythm that echoes the deep focus the artisan brings to their work. In these details, there is no rush. The work unfolds slowly, each line a deliberate act of creation, and with every passing moment, the object becomes more than just a piece of craftsmanship. It becomes a vessel of meaning, a work that will endure through the ages. As the artisan's hands continue to shape the material, their focus is not solely on the physical form. Each stroke of the chisel, each weave of the thread, is imbued with a deeper meaning, a connection to something greater, something spiritual. For in ancient Egypt, the act of creation was never merely a practical task, it was a sacred ritual, a way to honor the gods and the natural forces that governed life. In every piece of work, artisans embedded symbols that were deeply connected to their spiritual beliefs. The symbols they carved, painted, or wove into their creations were not just decorative, they were expressions of the divine, representations of the gods who guided and protected the land. An artisan's craft was a form of worship, a quiet devotion to the forces that shaped the world around them. For example, in the carving of statues, it was common for artisans to depict gods such as Osiris, the god of the afterlife, or Hathor, the goddess of love and motherhood. The faces of these gods were rendered with great care, their features carefully shaped and their forms imbued with divine meaning. Every curve and line was a reflection of the deity's power and presence, and by crafting these figures, the artisan not only created an object of beauty but also summoned the protection and blessings of the gods they represented. Similarly, symbols were often embedded into pottery and textiles, each one carrying spiritual significance. The ankh, symbolizing life, the scarab, symbolizing rebirth, and the eye of Horus, representing protection, were common motifs used in everyday items. These symbols were not mere adornments, they were powerful talismans meant to safeguard the wearer or user, connecting them to the divine and ensuring their well-being. The artisan did not work in isolation, but in communion with the gods. The quiet hum of the loom, the tap of the chisel, the spin of the pottery wheel, all were actions of devotion. Each stroke of the brush, each press of the tool, was an offering to the gods, a prayer woven into the very fabric of the creation. Artisans understood that their work had the potential to carry the divine into the world of the living. By crafting objects of beauty, they were, in essence, creating pathways for the gods to enter the material world. But this spiritual connection was not just about the gods. It was about the very act of creation itself, a deep respect for the materials and the process of transforming raw earth into something meaningful. The earth, in many ways, was considered sacred. The Nile, its waters, and its fertile banks were the lifeblood of Egypt. Artisans worked with the materials provided by the land, treating them with reverence, knowing that in shaping them, they were honoring the earth itself. The clay, the stone, the wood, they were not mere objects, they were sacred elements, part of the divine cycle of creation. In these quiet moments of craftsmanship, the artisan's hands become a bridge between the earthly and the divine. The work is no longer just about the finished piece, it is about the process, the intention behind each action. Every detail added, every symbol carved or painted, is an expression of faith, a testament to the belief that the act of creating is itself a sacred practice, one that connects the creator to the gods, to the land, and to the eternity of the afterlife. As the afternoon fades and the warmth of the sun begins to soften, the artisan senses the approach of evening. The once bright light has become a gentle, golden hue, casting long shadows across the workshop and filling the space with a tranquil stillness. The rhythmic hum of the pottery wheel slows, the loom's steady motion ceases, and the chisel rests against the stone. The workday is drawing to a close. The artisan stands quietly for a moment, taking in the space around them. The tools are carefully arranged, the materials settled. The workshop, though humble, has been transformed throughout the day. Each piece of work, each stroke of the tool, has left its mark on the space. It is now time to bring the day to a close, to tidy up, and to prepare for the evening ahead. The artisan begins by gently wiping down the tools, cleaning the dust from the mallet and chisel, the wooden handles polished by years of use. They carefully place the brushes and pottery tools back in their proper places, ensuring everything is neat and orderly. There is no rush, just the calm, deliberate motions of someone who understands the importance of maintaining their craft and their space. The materials are gathered and stored, stone blocks set aside, half-finished pottery placed carefully on a drying shelf, and woven cloth folded neatly. The warmth of the afternoon has started to ebb, and a cool breeze drifts in from the Nile, carrying with it the soft scent of the river and the earth. The artisan takes a deep breath, inhaling the stillness of the evening air, feeling the quiet shift from day to night. As the sun sinks lower in the sky, the golden light fades to a soft amber, painting the walls of the workshop with the colors of twilight. The shadows grow longer, stretching across the ground, and the heat of the day slowly dissipates, leaving behind a refreshing coolness in the air. The artisan steps back from the workshop, a sense of peaceful satisfaction settling over them as the work is put aside for the day. Outside, the village begins to quiet down. The calls of the day are replaced by the soft sounds of evening, distant conversations, the rustling of leaves in the breeze, the occasional cry of birds returning to their nests. The artisan closes the door to the workshop, knowing that tomorrow will bring a new day of creation, but for now, the work is done. There is nothing more to be added, nothing more to be shaped, only the quiet knowing that each piece of work, no matter how small, contributes to something greater. The day is ending, and as the last rays of the sun slip behind the horizon, the artisan looks out toward the Nile. The water glows softly in the fading light, its surface calm and reflective, much like the peaceful closing of the day's labor. The world has shifted from work to rest, and in the stillness of the evening, the artisan finds peace, knowing that they, too, are part of the eternal rhythm of creation. As the evening deepens and the final vestiges of sunlight fade into the horizon, the artisan begins to make their way home. The workshop, now quiet and closed, has been left behind, and the air is filled with the cool, soft embrace of the approaching night. The path back to their home is familiar, each step taken with a sense of calm purpose. The village, once bustling with the activity of the day, now feels still, as though the earth itself is settling into rest. The streets are calm, the only sounds the soft shuffle of feet along the dirt paths and the distant murmur of quiet conversation. The artisan walks slowly, taking in the peacefulness of the village around them. The houses, made of mud brick and palm fronds, seem to glow gently in the fading light, their simple silhouettes framed against the darkening sky. As the artisan walks, the cool evening breeze carries the scents of the earth and the river. The day's heat has subsided, leaving behind a refreshing coolness that brushes against the skin, like the quiet caress of the night. The sounds of the village have shifted. There are no longer the calls of merchants or the steady hum of labor. Instead, there is the soft whisper of wind through the trees, the rustling of leaves, and the occasional quiet voice calling to a neighbor. The artisan's home, nestled near the edge of the village, comes into view. It is simple, a small structure made of mud brick, with a thatched roof and a small garden just outside. The door is open, the faint glow of light spilling from within. Inside, the quiet warmth of family awaits, a space of comfort and connection after a long day of work. The artisan steps slow as they approach the door. The day has ended, but the work continues in the heart of their home. The evening offers time to rest, to reflect, and to be with family, away from the quiet focus of the workshop, but still in the same rhythm of life. As they step inside, the warmth of the hearth greets them, the familiar scent of dinner filling the air. Outside, the stars begin to appear in the sky, twinkling faintly as the night deepens. The sky is a dark velvet canvas, dotted with countless points of light. The artisan pauses for a moment, looking up at the stars. In this peaceful moment, they feel a deep connection to the universe. The same constellations that have guided travelers for centuries are now overhead, watching over the land. The village, the home, the earth, they are all part of the same quiet dance, a rhythm of life that continues through the seasons, through the ages. The artisan, though tired, feels at peace. The work is done for today, and now, it is time to rest. The world will turn again tomorrow, and the rhythm of creation will continue. As the day comes to a close, the artisan reflects on the quiet, meditative rhythm of their life, a life shaped by patience, skill, and devotion. Each day unfolds with purpose, each task a small act of creation, each movement deliberate and meaningful. There is no rush, only the steady flow of work, the deep connection between the hands, the materials, and the world around them. In the simplicity of their craft, the artisan's life becomes a quiet testament to the enduring spirit of ancient Egypt. The objects they create, whether tools, statues, or textiles, are more than just functional items. They are pieces of a larger story, carrying with them the culture, beliefs, and traditions of a civilization that continues to shape our understanding of the past. As we close the chapter on this peaceful journey through time, we are reminded that it is in the quiet, everyday moments, like the artisan's work, that the true essence of a civilization is found. It is through these crafts, passed down through generations, that the legacy of ancient Egypt endures, telling stories of devotion, artistry, and the deep connection between the people and the land.